Thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. If you don't already know, Skillshare offers thousands of inspiring classes for creative and curious people on topics including illustration, design, photography, video, and more. You can explore new skills, deepen existing passions, and get lost in your creativity. If you enjoy my videos, then you will enjoy the class Writing for Expression: How to Make Your Words More Artful and Lyrical by Hanif Abdurrahib. A great thing about a Skillshare membership is that Skillshare is curated specifically for learning, meaning that there are no ads and they're always launching new premium classes, so you can stay focused and follow wherever your creativity takes you. So go on, do something today that you couldn't do yesterday with short classes designed for real life. The first 1,000 people who use the link in my description will receive a free 1-month trial to Skillshare Premium. So thanks again to Skillshare for collaborating with us, and now on to the video.
Hi, welcome to Jovie's home. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about the experience of taking Inburgering exams now that I have taken all of mine and I passed all my exams. So I thought this was a good moment to talk to you guys about the experience, what I learned, how it goes. So if that sounds good to you, then why don't you come on in, kick off your shoes and stay a while. I'm really glad you're here. So today's Dutch word of the day has to be geslaagd, because that's what I did. I passed all my exams. That is geslaagd. All right, so if you are in the process of becoming a Dutch citizen and you are required to take the Dutch Inburgering exams, then this is kind of what the process is like. You can register for your exams even before you've taken Dutch lessons. You can just go ahead, log into the Duo website. I will leave it linked in the description, just it for ease of use for you guys. But it's a pretty simple website. You log in with your DigiD and you can go ahead and book and pay for your exams. The exams are about €50 each, and there are 5 of them that you must take that are language specific. On that website, you can choose the time, the type of exam, and the location where you want to take it. So depending on your time frame, you might want to look outside of like an area that is close to you. If you're in a time crunch, maybe there's somewhere else that has more availability. Or maybe you want a specific time or something. For me, it was okay. I was able to go to the one that was closest to my house and book everything in a time that was suitable. The exams kind of run all day, and there are lots of options also in the evenings. So they're administered Monday through Friday, but they do go into the evening. So if you're working full time or something and you're concerned, don't worry, you will be able to go in after work and book your exam. So there are 5 total language exams that you have to take: listening, speaking, reading, writing, and knowledge about Dutch culture and society. And these are the 5, big ones. Obviously, you can book all of them on the website. You don't need to pass one in order to take the next one. They are all just like independent, and you just book it and go. Let's talk about the process of actually checking in for your exam. This surprised me a little bit. They are very, very concerned about people cheating, I would guess. And so they're really thorough on checking your IDs. When I showed up for my first exam, I presented them with my passport because I thought, oh, this is, my US passport, here you go. And they were like, absolutely not. We don't accept this. Thank God. Thank God I had my Dutch IND document, because that is your ID. That is what they're checking, and that is what they're looking for. So you can go ahead and leave your passport at home. I mean, don't just bring it as a backup just in case. But the point is, they're going to be checking your Dutch ID. Not your Dutch driving license, not your health insurance card, not whatever other document you might have. It has to be the one by the IND. So once your ID has been checked, but before your exam starts, and they do start exactly on time, so don't be late. You will be told which waiting room to go to, and then you just kind of wait there with all the other people taking the exam, and then you are taken in to your exam room. In the exam room, you have an assigned seat. You do not get to choose which computer you go to. That, you are specifically told when they check your ID, they're like, aha, Jovie, you are sitting in desk number 12. And that is where you go. Once you've finished with your exam, all of the exams are timed, and there is a specific time limit, which is different depending on the type of exam. But once you're finished, you are free to leave. You don't have to wait the whole time. Like if you're finished early, you can just click, completed and walk out of the exam. So that's not a problem. Waiting for results, pretty much they say it takes 8 weeks for results. Not a single one of mine took 8 weeks. They were all much, much faster. Some I even got within 2 or 3 days. So just so you know, in that website where you register for exams, you can also check your scores. They don't tell you which grade you got on a 1 to 10 scale, but they do tell you whether you passed or failed. So that account is updated much quicker than the paper letter, which you will receive through the post, which does tell you actually your score out of 10 and tells you, that you've passed. But if you're impatient, like me, so if you're super impatient and you can't wait, you can definitely check that account and see if your score has been posted. Now that I've done all of my exams, I want to share with you my top 3 tips on how to pass in your first try. And the first tip that I'm going to share with you is to follow an intensive Dutch course. I followed the intensive 5-week Inburgering course with ABC Dutch in The Hague. They also have a location in Rotterdam, so if you're in The Hague or Rotterdam, definitely check them out. This was 5 weeks. It was 3 hours a day, 5 days a week. But that course left me feeling so empowered, so ready, so strong, and I was ready for these exams. It was great. I'm not sure that I would have felt the same way if I had not taken such an intensive course, because when you're taking an intensive course, you are really immersed in the language and the culture, and it's such a big part of your life in those moments. So I definitely recommend an intensive course. Also, I recommend if you are going to sign up for an intensive course, you're going to know when it starts and when it ends. Literally immediately after your course ends, book your exams, all of them. So if your course is 5 weeks, in the 6th week, have your 5 other exams. Do it that way, because that is going to be freshest in your mind. You are going to be so in the thick of it. You are just going to be fully immersed in everything that has to do with your exams. And so I just really feel like that would be such a strong way to ensure that you're going to pass on your first try. My next tip is to do all of the practice tests that are available online. This is not connected to any school, even though at ABC Dutch, we actually did do the practice tests as part of the course, but I also did the practice tests outside of the course. I will also leave a link to those exams down below. Now, one of the reasons that I really encourage you to do the practice tests is because although the questions on the real exam are not the same, obviously they're not going to do that, the questions are similar. There was some similarities to it, but more so than that, one of the things that is so important, at least for me, or one of the reasons that I felt like it was easier for me to do the test, is because the practice tests look identical to the real tests. And by that, I mean, the pause button is in the same spot. The forward button is in the same spot. You are just kind of more familiar with the software and how it looks and whether you can pause and rewind and how you can do those things. So you are just really familiar with the testing system or software. So it makes it a little bit easier. That way you can just focus on the questions itself and not on where's that back button, or how do I skip this question, or whatever. It makes it much easier the more you've been exposed to it. And my last tip that I'm going to share, and again, this I learned at ABC Dutch, so they really helped me out so much with this whole process, was to keep it simple. So even at the end of your course, you might feel like, oh yeah, I can write a whole paragraph about this or that topic. Don't. On the exam, don't. Like, you just keep it simple. So if they say, what is your favorite food and why? Your answer is, my favorite food is pizza because it's tasty. There's no like, oh, well, I really enjoy making Italian cuisine. In particular, I like the process of kneading the dough. No, don't do that. Don't do that, even if you know. Because the thing is that what they're looking for, the way these exams are graded, is did you answer the question and were you grammatically correct? Like, did you follow the grammar rules? Being more or trying to deliver more than what they're actually asking leaves room to make mistakes. And when you start making mistakes is when you start losing points. And so don't do that. Don't do that. The speaking and the writing exam is where this applies. On the speaking test, they're going to ask you questions. What's your favorite color and why? What time do you go to bed and where do you sleep? What is your favorite room in the house and what color is it? Like, they're going to ask you kind of two-part questions where you're going to have to answer the first part and then you're going to need to give a reason. So just take a breath, think about it, and keep it simple. My favorite room is the kitchen because I like cooking. Done. That's it. Like, just really, really straightforward, simple, and that's it. So what are the next steps? For me, the next step is to get an exemption from one of the other exams, which is the orientation towards the Dutch labor market. There are two ways you can get this exemption. One is if you have your own business and you make a certain amount of money, and that is my case. The other one is if you've been already employed in the Netherlands for more than a year, and you can show that. So if you have that, then you don't have to take this other course. Once I am approved, or like once that has been waived, that requirement for me, I will be ready and able to actually apply for my Dutch citizenship. So I'm in the process of getting that requirement waived and applying for my citizenship. And so the next video that you're gonna see in this specific series is going to be when I'm actually a Dutch citizen. So I will show that process. Maybe I show like what papers you have to fill or something, but it will be my actual becoming a Dutch citizen video. So I can't wait for that. That probably, I imagine, will take like between 6 to 8 months, maybe even more from this point, just because, yeah, it takes time. But that is the next step for me, and I just can't wait. So that's it. I want to know, if you have taken the tests, what other tips do you have to offer to people watching? Make sure you fill up those comments, let them know. The more we share, obviously, the better off we all are. So that's it. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being with me today. Thank you for spending some time at my home. I hope you're all doing well, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Doei!